Yeah! Get up!
What is up, everybody? Well, we didn't dip below 50 degrees today. It is exactly 50 degrees this morning, and it does feel that way because it's a little bit chilly, and I'm sure it'll get even worse once we get on the highway. But at times like this, it's nice to have a layered jacket, maybe a jacket that has a liner, so that if you wear it to work and at the end of the day it's not cold anymore and you're riding home, you don't want to be you know, boiling yourself with a heavy jacket when it's warmer. And you can take the liner out, open up those vents, and you're good to go. This kind of things like that if you're on a budget, it's helpful to know. It's helpful to plan ahead, because if you can't afford to have a winter jacket and a summer jacket and like a waterproof jacket, you got to be mindful when you're purchasing these items, because you're going to want to find a jacket that can do all those things for you, so you're not spending so much money. And trust me, there are jackets out there that can do all of those things, especially if you time it right and you find an item on clearance. So today what I wanted to talk to you guys about was shopping for motorcycle gear on a budget. So the reason that I bring this up isn't just because it's something I wanted to talk about, but especially for you new riders out there, it's something that you're going to want to think about if you're on a tight budget. And it was actually brought up by one of my subscribers, so thank you for that topic. You know who you are. Thanks, buddy. So let's talk about this, right? So when you're first getting your first bike, and maybe you spent all your money on your bike, and now you're just looking to get gear, the first thing that I would oppose would be buying a used helmet. Now, you know, there's obviously if you're buying it off of a friend or something who you know just got the helmet, never wore it. And I don't say this because of germs, I don't say this because of, you know, being paranoid about having secondhand stuff, because I buy secondhand stuff all the time. But my point is that helmets break down, and you're supposed to replace your helmet, I would say anywhere between, and it depends on how much you ride, I would say between 4 and 7 years. I think the average, they say, is every 5 years or more, depending on how much you ride. So I ride a lot, and I sweat a lot in my helmet because it's hot a lot here where we live. So I like to change my helmets out every like 3 years. So don't buy a secondhand helmet. There are enough bargain helmets, there are enough clearance helmets. But also, I would also advise against going to like Walmart or, you know, a place that doesn't specialize in selling motorcycle equipment, and just going out and buy the cheapest helmet you can find. The reason being is, you know, you get what you pay for. You really do when it comes to helmets. You know, there are some helmets I think that are probably overpriced because they're, you know, a name brand, but at the same time, you can find helmets like this helmet that I'm wearing right now, this Shark Spartan helmet. I got it for just over $200, and to me that is a really good deal, because this helmet has some really good features. It has the drop down visor, has vents on the top and in the right here in the face. The inner lining is removable and it's washable, and it's really soft, made of good material. So anyway, there's a lot of things that you want to look at when you buy a helmet. We won't go too much into that. My point is you got to time it right, and you've got to find equipment on clearance. Find quality equipment on clearance. A lot of the times you can find stuff for half off or more if you wait, but you got to jump on it, because those items, it's just like Black Friday, right? If you want to get that stuff, you've got to be on top of it. You got to get there early. You got to know when to jump in and get those items. So start looking before, if you have an inkling that you're going to get a motorcycle, as soon as you do, start looking at that equipment, because those ones that have the best deals are going to go the fastest. So if you want to get your size, you got to get in quick, because those clearance helmets go quick. So don't necessarily get the cheapest helmet, but find the best value. You know, set a money limit for yourself, and then see what you can get for that price. When I say set a money limit, set a budget for yourself. Gosh, yeah, I know how to speak English. I have a good vocabulary. I have the best words. Anyway, moving along. The first tip I should have given you was that you should work your way down, right? So you want to get the essential items first, and then for me, like when I first got my first bike, I only rode in town, so I was mostly concerned about my helmet. I would ride around with like batting gloves and like a hoodie, just to make sure that my arms were covered and my hands were covered, in case I dropped the bike or had a slow speed spill or something like that. That was my big concern, was just the helmet, mostly because it's the law too. So you got to work your way down. The helmet, the gloves and jacket would be next, and then if you're gonna get like some pants for riding on the highway, or you feel like you need more protection for your legs, and then I would actually look into getting boots before I got pants. So. And actually, boots end up being one of the more expensive items too, especially if you're looking for more protective things. But again, if you've got like work boots or just boots in general, those are going to be better than wearing like your tennis shoes. And obviously, don't wear your flip-flops if you're concerned about safety. You probably don't care, because if you're wearing flip-flops on your bike, then you just don't care about safety. Prioritize the things that you need. Obviously, if you're in a state that requires helmets, that's the first thing you're going to want to get. You're going to want to look at jackets and gloves. And again, like I said, find those items that aren't just seasonal items. And you kind of want to do the same thing for gloves. Find a pair of gloves if you're on a budget and you want to get gloves for winter and for the summertime. Find a pair of gloves that has a liner that you can take out, that are pretty well ventilated when you take that liner out. And just be smart. If you're on a budget and you're buying motorcycle gear after you've bought your first bike, you've got to be thoughtful and you've got to be deliberate and take your time. Don't be rushed. If you rush into things, you're not going to get the best deal. You're not going to get the gear that you really need. And if you're impulse buying, you're obviously not, you might get what you want. It might not necessarily be what you need, and that's what's most important when you're buying gear. Oh, that's a nice bike. I wonder if that's a 2018 or 2019. It kind of looks like it. Nice. Sorry.
Squirrel.
So, don't impulse buy. Be thoughtful. Get what you need and not necessarily what you want. If you can get what you want and what you need at the same time, then that's awesome. And that's where you've got to make the distinction here between rushing to buy and getting in quick to snatch up something that's a really good deal, or snatch up something that is like an absolute steal. It's really rare that you can get like the very, very best deal, because someone's always going to get in before you. That's kind of just how it works. Just like with Black Friday, you never get the item that you absolutely wanted, but you end up getting, oh my gosh, I'm riding right into the sun. This is not fun. Plus my glasses are all fogged up. That's the thing about getting this pin lock visor. It keeps my visor from fogging up, but nothing can keep my glasses from fogging up. So I'm sure that there's something I can do to my glasses, but I think we've covered everything that I wanted to talk about when it comes to buying, new gear when you get your first bike, or when you're just getting back into it and you don't have any gear. I think I've covered all the bases that I wanted to cover. Definitely, if you think that I've missed something, leave it in the comments. Sorry, I gotta put my hand up like this because I cannot even see the light. So definitely leave it in the comments there if you think that I missed something when it comes to bargain shopping for your gear. What I will say as a final note here for bargain shopping is, once you can upgrade and get the safest gear that you can, go ahead and go get it, because you cannot put a price tag on your safety. You cannot put a price tag on your life. And the safer gear that you go out and get, again, put a budget on it too, because you can end up spending a lot of money on the bike. So, I'm going to be frank with you. Some of the helmets that I think are really awesome and are really highly safety rated and have a ton of features are almost as expensive as the first bike that I bought. So just make sure that you're being smart and that you're being thoughtful that you set that budget and stick to it, because like I said, you can get carried away, and before you know it, you're running up a bill that you just don't want to do. Save that money up first and then go get what you want, because there are certain things that you want to go in debt for, and there are certain things that, and this is coming from the guy who who did not pay cash for his bike, but hey, this was something that I was willing to go into debt for. And again, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but just be mindful, because these things get away from you. Your circumstances change, and you want to be ready for anything, especially if you have a family. That's what I will warn you about, is if you have a family, take care of them first and then worry about your bike. Especially, I'm not going to tell you not to ride, obviously, because when I first started riding, one of my kids was still a toddler, so it's not something that I'm going to warn you not to do. But just be smart. I'm going to trust you guys. Obviously, there are some of you that I wouldn't trust as much as others, but that's okay. That's kind of how life is, and that's kind of how your friends are too, right? Oh, come on, buddy. All right, I'm going to go around you because, no. Oh. I cannot see at all. My glasses are just fogging up like crazy. Oh, someone took my compact spot again. I look like a novice rider. Oh, how embarrassing. Alright guys, go out there, get that gear you need, and do it on a budget. That's all I got for you this morning. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up down there, which is the like button, and if you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button, which will pop up right over here. And I'll also throw up some links over here in this direction for you guys to check out some of my other videos right now. Guys, if you're riding, be safe, and if you're not riding, get riding. This is that one guy, and I am out.